Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. So today you're joining me for some toy photography, and I've been out already a few days ago and the weather turned on me so I couldn't finish the video, but I did start the B-roll, so I'm going to pop the B-roll up on the screen, and there's a little bit of difference from the B-roll that you'll see to now, and I'll show you that in a second. So roll that epic B-roll. So if you follow my channel, you would have noticed this DeLorean sitting around on my desk. I think it's time to include that in a video with a photo idea. But first I need to grab some supplies. Who doesn't like to play with toys? Well, that's what this video is about. It's going to be a bit about toy photography and a bit about a learning experience, really, because I'm going to shoot the DeLorean. I'm going to try and get those epic fire trails that come out the back, you know, in all the posters you see. That's what I'm going to try and recreate in a toy photography video. I've never done it before. I've done a little bit of toy photography, but never cars, so this will be all new to me. And now the DeLorean has some friends. So I've bought a few of the collectibles that I have. They're not collectibles because they're out of the boxes, but a few of the memorabilia that I have I mean, I love films. I love the movie industry, especially the ones I grew up watching when I was a kid. So like the Freddy Kruegers, the Back to the Futures, and the Back to the Future was probably one of my favorites. I went to see that film 20 odd times in its release when it come down to Teignmouth, where I live. It came out, I can't remember, it was 3 weeks it ran for, and I watched it every day. I went down every day. I can't remember how much it was. It's something like £2 something a ticket, so to go and watch it. And then I went every day to watch it on my own. Just watch. I love that film. Back to the Future 2, that is, not Back to the Future 1. So yeah, so I have a real big love for that DeLorean, and that's what I want to do today. I want to get the DeLorean images, but I'm also going to, whilst I'm here, rather than waste the trip out, I'm going to try and include some of the others, not all of them, maybe the Predator and maybe the Ghostbusters car, and a couple of the Jurassic Park one might be cool. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that, and we are going to set that up now. So I'll set that up and then I'll jump back with you in a second. So the setup I'm going to use, I'm going to have the car on this mound here, because then I can get the camera almost level with it, a little bit easier than me trying to get on the floor and take the photo. So I'm going to have the car there. I've removed any of the loose debris from around the car, so it should be perfectly safe to do the fire trails out the back. If not, I do have someone on standby with the fire extinguisher and water. So do not try this at home or anywhere else. This is definitely under controlled circumstances. So I'm going to use some compressed air, some magician smoke, and a lighter fluid canister. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the trails with this out the back, see how that looks. Then I might use this inverted. When you invert this, it will blow out the contents as in a smoke. That will create a smoke effect coming out of the car, but also when there's fire, it will create a fire, almost a fireball. So again, don't try this at home. And then the smoke for a bit of atmospheric haze. But I do know that there is, even though you can't really feel it, there is a little bit of wind and it's just blowing away. So it may not have any use, this might not be, but we'll give it a go anyway. So I'm going to set my camera up and then I'll talk you through my composition and how I'm going to do it. So I'm just setting the tripod up just quickly. I'm having trouble keeping it steady. So I just want to show you these quickly. These are pretty cool. So they're rubber feet, but you take them off and they've got little spikes on the end. Definitely worth having, because if you forget your spikes, you can't do this type of shot, but have them with you all the time by having them on the bottom of your tripod. So yeah, pretty cool. All set up. So this is the composition. So car coming off, it's in the right third of the frame, and then it gives us the room for the smoke and fire coming out the back. And compositionally, it's not going to be the same as the movie, obviously, but this is the next best thing. So what I've allowed is the car at a slight angle, which is compositionally makes it a little bit more interesting rather than side on, and then it gives the room out the back to get the smoke and the flames. So let's get that started. Right, so this is the first image. I'm just going to take this one. It's just going to show you the composition of what I've got, and then I'm going to add some smoke to it and progress from there. Just out of curiosity, what is your favourite childhood film? Do you have one that's particularly of interest to you? Is it horror? Is it? I'd like to know what type of film it would be. So I don't really have a specific genre. Okay, so let's just add some smoke. Nope, it's blowing the wrong way. So let's try and get some coming out of the back of the car. So I've got the shot, the original base image, and what I'll do is if I just shoot this coming out from the exhaust ports and then Photoshop them together, might make an interesting image. So there we go. Yeah, it's a little bit high. Let's try this one inverted. It's a bit more powerful and it dissipates quite quickly. Trial and error, and again. Let's see where the nozzle is. Try and turn that nozzle a little bit. Well, that might work. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Right, so I've done some scorch marks in the ground. I've made a couple of trenches just to contain the fire, and I've made a couple of scorch marks in the ground already, and then I'm going to light those now and create the iconic flames from the film. Hopefully it looks okay. I'm not 100% sure. Now, just be aware that I do have a Colin on standby. Other humans are available, so just in case that flame doesn't go out, he will be on standby with water. Right, so I've just frosted up the front of this car just to give a nice effect. So what I've done is I've inverted the can so it produces the freezing cold, and then just taking an image of that once it frosts up. You have to do it for a little bit just to get the car cold so the frost stays on there, and then once you've got it on there it stays frosty for a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick some flames out the back, and with my assistant Colin, he's going to put some lighter fluid down in the little trenches that I've created, and then we're going to set fire to it and try and make a little ball of fire with this. So remember, don't try this at home. We're going to put some lighter fluid in. Lighter fluid's good because it doesn't burn for long and it's easily controllable. So then Colin's going to light it and just step out the frame. That's it. Beautiful. Lovely. And here we go. Oh, wrong way. So, front of the car's on fire. Blow that out. Beautiful. Right, so we've done that, and we're going to put that fire out, and then we're going to move on to the next setup. Now, I'm thinking what I can do is I can use the Predator and a glow stick, and I think that's the one I'm going to go for next. So, compositionally, this is what we're looking at. So we've got the Predator on the log, looking around the corner at something. So we're going to set that up. I'm going to try and get some fog in there, just to try and make it a little bit more realistic. And then there's the composition. And then we're going to see whether that comes out okay. Right, so for this shot, I've set up a little light just by his feet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray some fog, some magician's fog around, and then we're just going to take that image and see whether that gives us a nice image and whether it looks like a bit atmospheric-y with the Predator. So we're going to do that now. Colin's going to spray the spray, and then we are going to take that shot. Now our f-stop and shutter speed and all that, so we're on ISO 100, f4 and a 20th of a second. So I am on a tripod, so it shouldn't really matter because everything's stationary. And same with the DeLorean shot. So that's the shot we're going for. So let's get that spray in, Colin. So just give it a quick burst and then we'll just release the shutter. That's it. And then one final, I think probably a final one, just looking at what I've got, I think probably the Jurassic Park one's the one I'm going to do next. Right, so setting up our composition. So we're setting up the composition here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, which is, I think it's a toilet and sink unblocker. So what you do is you pump it and then you fire it. You'll see it fires a jet of air out. We're going to use that to blow up the leaves that are around the dinosaur, as if to say like he's like stomping on the floor and the leaves are just blowing up around him. And the car obviously driving through the leaves is blowing leaves up as it drives. So give it a little bit of motion and see how that turns out. So Colin's going to do the air and I'm going to go down and set up and take the photo. So compositionally, we've got the vine of this tree just using as the ground, and then we've got the dinosaur and the car just behind it, and then we're going to pop some smoke behind it and fire the air onto the ground just as he shoots. So here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, wind's against me now.
3, 2, 1.
No, the wind was against me then. That's not bad. That's not bad though. Yeah, I reckon chuck more leaves down now. Try it again. So what we've come to decide is, we were doing it before, we were doing it from above, and as the leaves were blowing up, they almost looked like they were just on the ground still because we were shooting downwards. So we've come down lower to try and make the leaves look more interesting as they shoot up in the sky, which is what we're doing now. So we're just waiting for this smoke to look. You see the wind changing directions all the time. All right, ready when you are, mate.
3, 1. Oh, it didn't work, did it?
Nope. You're too high, I think.
Yeah, I'll go down lower.
Yeah.
Ready?
Hold on.
3, 2, 1.
That's better. Right, let's try again without the smoke this time.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's nice. Right, so thank you for joining me on this little outing and indulging me with this little hobby of mine, and hope you liked the images. I think it was quite interesting. I got some good images, I think. I'm going to go back and post-process them, and obviously you would have seen them already, so hopefully you enjoyed those. Just out of curiosity, which of these cars, which of these vehicles do you recognise? Do you know any of them? Be interested to know. Let me know in the comments. So it just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.